Can you see?
Yes, it looks good, Kempo.
Can see.
Yes, Kempo.
All mother saint beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstacles who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and nations. May they experience happiness, be separate from suffering, and save their ways to reach them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious Buddhahood. All mother saint beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstacles who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and damnations. May they experience happiness, be separate from suffering, the save their ways to reach them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious Buddhahood. Dala Damwar Sibe Dai, Nobar Sibe Ge, Tarba Dan Damje, Jimbe Barde, Jubara Zeba Damje, Jeso Sebe. Manam ga dan yambe zemje damje dewa dan de donghara dan da nyorde lana meba yanda bara zobe sanjo rumbo je do barasa da sandra jiva enlightenment. I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind from under death. I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and mind from now until this time tomorrow. I perform virtuous deeds with the body, speech, and the mind. We take refuge in the Kandaru Lama and the lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deity of Mandalas or Yadams. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Nakinis, and the Dhamma Gardens, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in the Buddhas, I take refuge in the Dharma, and likewise in the example of Bodhisattvas. As far as the Buddhas invested in enlightened mind and the progress on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, giving birth to Bodhicitta, and apply myself to complete the stage of the path. And the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent. I take refuge until enlightenment is reached by the merit of Janarasta and other good deeds. May I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering, the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. I bow down respectfully with my body, speech, and faithful mind to all Tathangatas and the 10 directions. Those who are already reaching the Tathangata state, those who are reaching it at the present, and those Tathangata state to come. Through the power of Samadabhada's prayers, may all Buddhas manifest vividly in my mind. I prostrate to them, multiplying my body as many times as there are atoms of the earth. In each atom I visualize as many Buddhas as there are atoms surrounded by countless Bodhisattvas. Thus all space is filled with Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I praise all Buddhas through manifesting, chanting, expressing the great ocean of the excellent qualities. To all Buddhas, I make offerings of various pure flowers, flower garlands of music, honoring oils, manifesting light and fragrant incense. I make offerings to them of fine garments, perfume, and purple high as moon orange, the most beautiful way. I visualize the highest and most extensive offerings, and offer them with great faith to our Buddhas. I prostrate to the Buddhas and make offerings to them following the deeds of the great Bodhisattva Samantabhadra. I confess to you, Buddhas, whatever negative actions I have committed due to the power of anger, desire, and ignorance. I rejoice in the merit of all the Buddhas in the 10 directions of the great Bodhisattvas and the Pakshika Buddhas who have attained Aharaship, those who have entered the path of Aharaship, and all other beings. I request to all great protectors and the Buddhas to turn the highest way of Dharma as the light dispelling the darkness of beings in the 10 directions, and the leading the gradually to the enlightened state. Supplicate those Buddhas intend to pass into Parinirvana to living long for as many eons as there are atoms of the earth, in order to benefit all beings. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. The Gurung is sprinkled with the scented water and strewed with the flowers. It is adorned with the Meru, the spring mountain, the 4 continents, and the sun and the moon. As a Buddha fair, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness as a Buddha fairs. To the Lamas who possess the Tirikayas, I offer the altar in all the sacred offerings. With my body, word, and all that is visible, please grant me the supreme realization enlightenment. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. Om Guru Rina Mandala Punza Manga Samandra Savar Samaya Ho Equal refuge, ornament of the world. Your fame provides the 3,000 worlds. You are the way toward Jadara, with our dog, our boy, the feet of Father Jiti Songo. Continually, I think of no one but you. Compassionate one, grant your blessings. Dispel darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I can realize the unlimited nature of mind. Please stand aware of the Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination according to disposition and likewise the mental capacity of sentient beings. His wisdom is brilliant like the sun, free of the clouds of two worlds, and perceive the various steps of knowledge in the true nature. For this reason, he holds the wisdom text at his heart. He has a compassion for all beings who suffer from the darkness of ignorance and the prison of samsara, as a father for only son. Like a thunderclap, he awakens those who are sleeping in ignorance and losing the charm of karma. Through the 60 branch of Haramanes speech, he wears the wisdom sword to cut the settling of suffering and to dispel the darkness of confusion. And the Bodhisattva form is pure from beginningless time, fully accomplishing the 10 levels and perfect in the body of all knowledge. I supplicate you, magician, adorned by 112 sons of a Buddha, to dispel the darkness of my ignorance. Om Wange Joremo, 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 Om Arabaza Nade, Om Arabaza Nade, Om Arabaza Nade. You who are the perfect, beautiful body, whose flame of wisdom blazes, and dispel the darkness of worldly ignorance, are posted before you and press you manjashiri. Angke doje jaje reizan dong yin je me de de je pongjom. Serje lembo davre jibe ke shaje jarbe jala risanze dorje janje elo narot marba melai chije gambo papa mo ba jarwa indigo kaje lama nalai zorwa ne rome yuje yenje bobran Te som sanje genje ngowo nye ransen jige ngozon donze sawe lame shala zorwan de. Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear voice okay?
Yes, yes, Kempo. Kempo.
Yes. So I use this one, it's maybe better. Good.
Nice, huh?
Can you hear? Hello?
Yes, Kempola, we can hear.
Yes.
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, that's good then. Maybe this helps voice more better. Okay, so 37 practice Bodhisattva. So this one has 37 verses, and so we talked to the beginning of the section is introduction, homage to our Lord Ishvara, and all the source of happiness arise from accomplishing excellent teaching. So happiness is arise from the understanding the Dharma teaching and practice. So we have 37 verses. First verses we finish, and the second verses we finish. Third verses we finish. Fourth verses I think we finish. Fifth verses finish. Six, right? Anyone remember?
Yeah, we stopped on the 4th.
We finished 4, right?
Yes, but we didn't start the 5th. We start from the 5th.
Okay, so today is verses is 5th. So then last 2 weeks ago, yeah, is we shared the verses under like 1 to 4. So 4 is talk about more about impermanent. So first verses talk about precious human body. Then also when you practice Dharma, the second verse is talk about when you practice Dharma. So we have to give up our homeland, like where you live, the place, like increasing negativity. So we have to give up negative home. So then we have to get good verses third. So we must have to have a good place to location practicing. Verses 4 is talk about we have to meditate impermanent. So today is verses 5. Verses 5 is when you keep the company, your trip organs increase. Your activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating decline, and they make you lose your love and compassion. So give up the bad friends. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. When you practice the Dharma, we need good company, good friends, spiritual friends. So spiritual friends help us, our mind is changed into the spiritual path. So that's what we call Sangha. We need to rely on the Sangha. And without the Sangha, and then kept company like negative person, someone who not believe cause and effect, someone always create harming for other beings. So if we keep company with that kind of person, then our three poisons increase, like ignorance, attachment, and anger, they are increased. So then these three poisons increase. What is the problem? The problem is your activities of hearing, thinking, and meditating decline. This all is going to decline. Our spiritual quality is all going to decline, going down. So we lose our love, compassion. And then also lost our wisdom. Due to that, then you don't want to practice Dharma. So that's why hearing, thinking, and meditation declines. Everything is going to decline, going down. So that's why they make you lose your love and the compassion. See that better friends, you know, if we follow them, and if the bad, negative friends influenced by us, so that's become, you know, slowly influence for our mind and lose our love and the compassion. So lose our love and the compassion, then all this negativity is increased. Then the problem is if the negative is increasing, we create no virtuous deeds. If we create no virtuous deeds, then what the problem is? Problem is no virtuous deeds, result is suffering. Then we are endless suffering in samsara. So that's the reason we have to give up negative feelings. We want happiness, we don't want suffering. So where is happiness come from? Source is practice the Dharma. If you keep company with negative friends, you cannot practice the Dharma. So Dharma is love, compassion. See, negative friend. If the negative influence by us, we lose love and the compassion. Means like we lost our Dharma practice. Then we create no virtuous deeds. So no virtuous deeds result is suffering. We don't want suffering. That's the reason. Give up bad friends. We have to give up bad friends. Bad friends means is who influence us taking into negativity. So that is called bad friends. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So that's why Bodhisattvas never be company with negative friends. They doesn't matter who they are, you know, relatives, and even the same family, but they don't want to be with them because the reason is negative friend. And if they influence, then increasing all the negative, these three poisons. That's the reason we have to give up negative friends. That's the practice of Bodhisattva. Then when you rely on them, your force come to an end and your good qualities grow like the waxing moon. So church spiritual teachers even more than your own body. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. So we give up our negative bad friends, then what we have to do? We have to rely on the your force, rely on the spiritual friends. So when you rely on your spiritual friend, then all the good qualities arising. That's why when you rely on them, your force come to an end. Your good qualities grow like the waxing. You rely on your spiritual teacher, spiritual friends, and then your good quality is increasing and the negativity is all going to decrease. Serious spiritual teachers even more than your own body. So that's why we rely on the spiritual teacher. Spiritual teacher is, help us. Our mind is going to for the Dharma. So spiritual teacher bring our mind is transformed, taking into the path, Dharma path, Dharma. So if our minds go into the Dharma, then we decrease like negative, emotions. So negative emotions are going to decrease. That's the reason you are rely on them, your force come to end, and your good quality grow like was saying more. So our quality is like become growing and growing, same as the more. Spiritual teaching more than your own body. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. Bound himself in the jail of cyclic existence. Please, yes. Bound himself in the jail of cyclic existence. What worldly good can give you protection? Therefore, when you take refuge in three jivas, which will not betray you. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. Bound and just cyclic existence. Here is talking about taking refuge. So we have to take refuge to the enlightened beings. So we cannot take refuge to some other being who are not enlightened beings. So that's why bound himself in the jail of cyclic existence. Other beings stuck in samsara. They are still in the jail in samsara, same as us. So samsara is jail. This spirits and some just worldly powerful, like mountain gods, local gods, spirits, and many beings have very powerful worldly, but still they are stuck in samsara. They are not free from samsara. So that's the reason we cannot take refuge to them, because they are stuck samsara. They have emotion. They are suffering. The same is ordinary beings. They cannot protect for us. So that's the reason. What worldly God can give you protections? How can they give protection to us? Someone is stuck in the jail. How can release you, that person? Because that person also stuck in the jail. So like that, long as we are stuck in the samsara, we have to rely on only enlightened beings. We cannot rely on this worldly God and other spirits. They cannot give you protection. Therefore, when you take refuge, so when we take the refuge, the three jewels which will not betray you. So we take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and that never evil is will not betray you. So always rely on. The reason is Buddha is free from jail of cyclic existence. And then Buddha has love is immeasurable love, unconditional love, all sentient beings equally. Doesn't matter and his followers or not followers. His love is all sentient beings. And then same time, then like Buddha has compassion. Compassion is all for every being, unconditional compassion. And Then Buddha has wisdom, so that's why has all the qualities can benefit for others. Buddha can only portray for other beings. That's why we have to rely on Buddha and take refuge to Buddha, not someone who don't have enough compassion, someone who don't have wisdom. We cannot take refuge to them because they don't have quality. They cannot protect us. So only Buddha, Dharma, Sangha can protect us. So when we get sick, example, who can help us? Doctor, medicine, and nurse. They can help us. So like that, Buddha is same as the doctor. And the doctor who has compassion and wisdom. And really care about patients, the same as own child. So then that doctor provide all the good resource, whatever he can have for the patients. So then he provide his medicine. So Dharma is the same as medicine. So that's why Dharma can help us because recover our illness is our emotion. So long as we have emotion, we are same as the sick and the disease, sickness person, so no difference. So that's why we rely on the Dharma. And Dharma is introduced our emotion. So only Dharma can help us liberate, free from samsara. Then third is we have to take refuge in Sangha. So Sangha is the same as nurse. We don't know how to how to take care ourselves. Only Sangha can help us, taking care of us like that. So Sangha is our company taking to the right direction, support each other. That's why I rely on the three jewels, which will not betray you. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. Then verses 8, the subduer said, all unbearable suffering of bad rebirth is the fruit of wrongdoing. Therefore, even at the cost of your life, never do wrong. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. This verses is talking about cause and effect. So the subduer said is Buddha. What Buddha says, all unbearable suffering of bad rebirth is the fruit of wrongdoing. Where is the all suffering is come from? All suffering is come from its negative deeds. So, therefore, even at the cost of your life, never do wrong. So we avoid non-virtuous deeds and practice virtuous deeds is actually protecting ourselves. You know, who create non-virtuous deeds, that person is harming themselves. Because non-virtuous deeds result is a suffering. So same is the poison. Long as you took the poison, result is causes of death. Its result is a suffering. So that's why Buddha said, if you don't want to die, if you don't want to get sick, don't drink poison. Yeah. So like that. If you don't want to take rebirth lower realms, if you don't want to get suffering, don't create no virtuous deeds. Because no virtuous deeds result is a suffering. So who created that? No one created that. No virtues result is naturally suffering. Same is the fire. Fire is naturally relatively naturally result is heat, hot. So, like that, no virtuous result is naturally suffering. If you believe or not believe, doesn't matter. Because if you believe fire is going to burn you or not going to burn you, doesn't matter. As long as you touch the fire, fire going to burn you, like that. If you believe with no virtuous deeds, going to get suffering or not suffering is not followed by the belief or not. Sometimes people misunderstand. They say, I'm not follow the Buddha. So the cause and effect is only for Buddhists, not for me. So that is actually 100% misunderstanding and the wrong view, wrong thought. So you believe or not, it doesn't matter. Like long as you eat the poison. So poison never said, "Oh, you don't believe me. That's why you're not going to die." You believe me. That's why you die. Never like that, right? Make separate difference. Long as you drink the poison, so believe or not, it doesn't matter. You're going to die. You're going to get sick. So like that, and you believe no virtues. If create no virtuous is going to rebirth lower realms and going result is a suffering. Believe or not believe, it doesn't matter. As long as you create no virtuous, the result is naturally suffering. So same thing, virtuous deeds, you know. Virtuous deeds, result is naturally happiness. You believe or not believe, it doesn't matter. So when you get sick, maybe, you know, doctor give you very good medicine and you can eat that medicine, you can recover your illness. You believe or not believe, it doesn't matter. If you eat, the medicine can cover your illness. So like that, virtuous result is naturally happiness. No virtuous result is naturally suffering. That's the reason Buddha has extremely compassion for other beings. He said, all unbearable suffering of bad rebirth is the fruit of wrongdoing. Therefore, even at the cost of your life, never do wrong. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. Like the dew on a trail of blood of grass. Pleasures of the three worlds last only a while and then vanish. Aspiring to the never-changing supreme state of liberation. This is the practice of Bodhisattva. And verses 9. So this is a talk about impermanent and our temporarily. We have a temporary, you know, happiness that's also impermanent, not going to stay too long. So main point, give up attachment. This one talking about give up attachment. Like the dew on a trail of blood of grass. Pleasures of the three worlds last only a while and then vanish. Some our pleasure things causes of suffering. So it's the same like this, you know, it's like the dew on a trail of a blade of grass. If you try to get that and you get hurt. So like that, you know, some pleasure things is causes of suffering. Not talking about the future life and just directly in this life, you know, some people wanted to get happiness, joy, something, but actually the do that create the causes of suffering. So then even this samsara pleasure things is not last too long. It's very, very, very short term. So very temporary. That's why the main point, don't attach to pleasure object. Pleasure of the three words lasts only a while and then vanish. Three words is talking about desire realm, form realms, formless realms. So there's a talk about the three realms. Right now we are in the desire realm. So all beings like who's in the desire and has a desire, always one thing. Never ever get satisfied. So right now we are stuck in the desire. So that's why in the desire, beings have so much desire. So that desire is causes of suffering. So then aspiring to the never changing supreme state of liberation, this is the practice of Bodhisattvas. This verses talk about defect of samsara, main point. It's called defect of samsara. Defect of samsara is in the samsara, doesn't matter where we are reborn, no one has permanent happiness. Only we have temporary happiness. So temporary happiness is also causes of suffering. That's why it's called suffering of change. Something we have, in the samsara, happiness is slowly there change to is a suffering. So that's why it's called suffering of change. Many samsaric pleasure things like that. Relationships, family, all the jobs, sometimes like what you get slowly or it's changed to causes of suffering. Also, in the samsara, the lower realms extremely suffering. Then three higher realms, human being has a temporary happiness, but no one has a permanent happiness. And the God's realm, jealousy God's realm, also suffering. So jealousy is due to mental jealousy. They don't have permanent happiness. And more suffering than actually human beings. God's realm has temporary happiness, but they also one day when they finish the karma is going to lost. That's why it's all in the samsara, these 6 realms. Doesn't matter where we are reborn, no one free from suffering. No one has a permanent happiness. Then that's the reason where is the how we get the permanent happiness. Permanent happiness is aspiring to the never changing supreme state of liberation. So goal is liberation, not in the get something good benefit in samsara. So goal is we want to free from samsara. Then free from samsara means then never changing supreme state of liberation. That always that being has happiness. The liberation very easily way to explain is free from suffering. Never lost happiness. So that's only we can just short way to say, simple way to share for others. It's called nirvana. So that verses of first to all the way verses to 9 is talk about a 4 thought meditation. 4 thought meditation is we have to meditate precious human body, and we have to meditate impermanent. We have to meditate cause and effect. We have to meditate defect of samsara. So that is called 4 thought meditation. Then how to meditate, we already talked, is this meditation is called cultivating. This meditation is called analytical meditation, not rest in mind meditation. So you have to use your knowledge and cultivating, think about, other realms. So think about ourselves, like our situation. So comparing to the lower realms, then we recognize precious human body, how hard to get, not easy to get. At the same time, we have to cultivate impermanent. This precious human body is hard to get, but easy to lost because due to impermanent. And we have to cultivate impermanent. So who was born, then the person has death. No one free from death. So long as you have a birth, we have a death. When we born, then every day close to the death, never going to long life and a long life. So every minute is close to the death. That is the nature of phenomena. No one free from death. And we have to cultivate that. Like when we was born until now, how many our relatives, friends, or gone, how much is changing. Cultivate. So when you cultivate impermanent, then you no longer attached to samsara, desire object. So less attachment. Long as you are less attachment, less desire, less suffering. So when you meditate impermanent, cultivate impermanent, become not really strong fixation to the object and not strongly grasping to or the desire object. You can have object but less fixation, less grasping, because result of impermanent meditation, then you are less suffering. The suffering is based on the fixation and grasping. So you meditate impermanent, become less desire, less fixation to the object. We have to cultivate impermanent meditation. So here is talking about the 4 thoughts meditation. Actually, if you practice one of these 4, you will become totally different person. So you will become spiritual person. Each one can take to the Buddhahood, if long as we really put effort and meditate. So this meditation has quality, is increasing our, each meditation has the power, benefit, is remove the suffering and create a happiness. So that's why 4 thoughts meditation, if you can meditate one by one, is great. Even you cannot do one by one, if you focus one very strongly and practice, they also change your life. So that's the 4 thoughts. The last one is defect of samsara. So long as you meditate for this other 3, you recognize samsara is suffering. So you can stay in the samsara, you're not really stuck in samsara. As long as you meditate this first 3, then goal is, one thing is liberation. Not our goal is like something benefit in this life and the future life in samsara. Because you know, doesn't matter where you are reborn in samsara, it's suffering. So our goal is liberation. So that is the four thought meditation. Then verses 10. When your mothers who have loved your saints time without a beginning are suffering, but yours is your own happiness. Therefore, to free limitless living beings, develop the artistic intention. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. The first verses 1 to 9 is called basic practice. So now is we going into practitioner more go into the higher level meditator practitioner is Mahayana level. So first part is called basic teaching, and all these Buddhists talk about three yanas based on this verses 1 to verses 9. In this level, we are going one step up, more level, more deeper level is called Mahayana level. So then this level, we not only looking samsara as a suffering, not thinking about we are liberation. So now we're thinking about all mother sentient beings. When your mothers, see all these beings used to our mothers, who have loved you since time without beginning. So these mothers, other beings love us beginningless time until now. Now our mothers suffering in samsara. So what use is your own happiness? What use is your own happiness? Why are you only thinking about your want liberation? So then what we have to do here? So we have to come back again. Come back means like you going to like running from the very dangerous, difficult place, and you leaving that place, you look back or who's left behind. Left behind, everyone is our loved ones, mothers. So how you can escape yourself? Leave behind our mothers, and how we can escape to, nirvana. It's not possible. So that's why we have to. And main point is here, not only thinking about escaping only ourselves free from samsara. So we have to help them, others too. When your mothers who have loved your saints time without beginning, they are love us beginningless time, are suffering. They are suffering in samsara. So then how you can only escape yourself? What is your own happiness? If you can only keep yourself escaping from the suffering, that's not going to give you happiness. Because our mothers are suffering, then not easy to escape ourselves. So therefore, to free limitless living beings, develop the artistic intention. So now we have to change our intention. Not only I'm going to escaping from samsara. I want to have all these mother beings. I want to benefit for them. So like that, we have to cultivate the bodhicitta. If you are in the example, like we think about in the family, you are father of the families. If you have many kids and your wife, and everyone's hunger and starving, so only you can get food, you can enjoy yourself. Not possible, right? So much ever we can have for our family, like that. Bodhisattvas recognize this is a whole big family. These samsaric beings, or is their recognize their own family. And that's why called Bodhisattva means like courage beings. And they're not only thinking about their own benefit, they want to benefit for all other beings. Because the reason is they recognize all these beings used to their own parents. No, they don't want their parents, they don't want only their own happiness. So they want to benefit for others. That's why we have to create our self like bodhicitta. We have to create bodhicitta. Therefore, to free limitless living beings develop the authentic intention. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. All suffering comes from the wish for your own happiness. Perfect Buddhas are born from the thoughts to help others. Therefore, exchange your own happiness for the suffering of others. This is the practice of bodhisattvas. So verses 11. All suffering comes from the wish for your own happiness. The suffering, why we are stuck in samsara, why these samsaric beings suffering? Because they wish for own happiness. That's why they're stuck in samsara. And we want happiness, but we create the causes of suffering. Because due to our ignorance, we really don't know how to create causes of happiness. We chasing happiness, create the causes of suffering. So the only this Bodhisattvas knows how to create causes of happiness. That's why the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, samsaric suffering never affected to them. Samsaric suffering affected to samsaric beings because we don't know how to create happiness. We want happiness, all beings wanting happiness, all beings create causes of suffering. How do they create causes of suffering? All suffering comes from wish for your own happiness. Everyone wanting own benefit. Own benefit is the causes of suffering. So think about how many human beings in this world. All these beings wanting own happiness. So that's why this human beings still kept going in samsara again and again. So perfect Buddhas are born from the thought to help others. Therefore, exchange your own happiness for the suffering for others. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas. Where does the Buddhas come from? Buddhas are born from the thought to help others. Buddha means wanting to benefit for others, benefiting for others. And good intention. Where Buddha has come from? Buddha has come from good intention. So, Buddhas born from the thought to help others. Buddhas are wishing, benefit for others. That's why free from samsara. Why we are sentient beings stuck in samsara? Because all benefit. Why Buddhas free from samsara? Wishing others benefit. And very easy to understand this simple, easy. So good intention is benefit us, benefit for others. Bad intention, harming ourselves, harming for others. So bad intention is the causes of suffering. Good intention is the causes of happiness. This section, every being has opportunity, capacity to become Buddha. Because long as arise good intention in your heart that take you to become Buddha. So who has negative thoughts, that person is going to stuck in samsara. So Buddha said he is same as us, no difference first time. Buddha also ordinary beings. He also in samsara, same as us. Then what Buddha did, Buddha is only thinking about benefit for others. That's why he's liberate. Then why we are stuck here? Because we're thinking about our own benefit. That's why we are stuck in samsara. So long as you arise good intention, that is called bodhicitta. That is called wish fulfilling giver. It's very, very hard, difficult to arise. If long as you have good intention, that's why it's called wish fulfilling giver. All your wishes arising means like happiness is arising, it's enlightening its brain. So that wish fulfilling giver is truly wish fulfilling giver. Bodhicitta is, because it's good intention. It's Buddha, enlightening source is bodhicitta. Good intention. So not easy to arise. Bodhicitta is not easy to arise. But every being has opportunity. Every being has conditions. Can be arise bodhicitta. But due to our obstacles, ignorance, very, very difficult to get bodhicitta arise. So long as bodhicitta arise, we are going to enlightenment, free from samsara. So without the bodhicitta, no one can enlighten. Because think about it, perfect Buddhas are born from the thought to help others. So that is called bodhicitta. So without this good thoughts, bodhicitta, no one can become Buddha. So this section, we can see ourselves, look to ourselves. You have good thoughts or you have not great thoughts. So good thoughts is, wanting to have benefit, I wanted to benefit from others. And then opposite is like, for suffering comes from wish for our own happiness, like our thinking about our own benefits. Our own benefits. Long as we thinking about our own benefits, so then our own benefits could be have like two kind of differences, like negative, our own benefit thoughts, positive, our own benefit thoughts. So we can have temporary our own benefit thoughts because like worldly, we take care good ways ourselves. So that is like temporarily good thoughts, this taking care ourselves. But that is cannot say like great, thoughts. Cannot say perfect thoughts. Just temporarily we, relatively we have good thoughts. Of course, we taking care ourselves good way, and take care of the family and take care ourselves. But this one is talking about the perfect Buddha. Perfect thoughts is true thoughts. It's give up ourselves. 100% benefit try to benefit for others. Buddhas are born from the thoughts to help others. Therefore, exchange your own happiness. Then we can change our happiness. So that's part is called also only meditation. Some meditators use this section and create love and compassion. Create love and compassion. So this one, change means like we giving our happiness for others and taking others' suffering. So there's also have a different levels due to the individual level practitioners. First beginners, we need to create a good thought intention, and you can use your breath. Exhale, sending love, compassion for others. Inhale and taking others' suffering. So that creates our love and compassion. And then, so that is one of the methods. Usually Tibetan called Tong and Lane. Tong means we giving. Lane means taking. So Tong is you happiness. Tong is giving. Lane means taking is taking suffering. If you cannot do the 100%, physically, right? Taking others' suffering and giving happiness for others, like someone don't have a house, say, okay, take my house. And so, giving the house for someone. So like that, we cannot do the action bodhicitta, but they have called aspiring bodhicitta. Use this Tonglen meditation. It's very powerful if you use that practice. Tonglen is. Many meditators using this Tonglen meditation. Many meditator practitioners use this Tonglen. The Tonglen also has many different levels. So I can share a very short one, some easy one. When you're going to, so first you have to recognize, see the other beings suffering. So then you want to help that beings. So you can use this method. The thing about that person and the suffering, and in here it's taking their suffering and dissolve to your body. And then you can sending exhale, love, compassion, and healing for that person. The use of that method is arise bodhicitta in your heart and mind. So we need object to do that practice, especially someone suffering. So we are ordinary being, not easy to arise compassion for everyone. Ordinary being practice compassion is like someone suffering. So you see animals, human beings, doesn't matter which one, if extremely suffering. You see that, recognize, and then use this method. Inhale, taking that suffering, and exhale, giving healings and happiness, sending love to that beings. So that beings, object of this Tonglen meditation, object that beings, helping us arise bodhicitta, helping us arise compassion. Without that kind of beings, not easy to arise bodhicitta, not possible to arise compassion. So that's why we need that object. That object is important. We have to use that object when we get. That kind of object is always always there. Actually, always there means we can find easily object of suffering because so many beings are suffering. And we have to recognize the important is usually we don't have enough mindful awareness, and due to that, even someone suffering, we don't use that is object of meditation. If long as you have awareness, mindful, many objects helping us, helping us arise love and compassion and bodhicitta. Many objects is causes of bodhicitta, and many objects is causes of compassion. But we don't use that. Why we don't use that? Because we don't know, due to our habitual karmic imprints, and we don't have enough mindful. If long as you have enough mindful awareness, all object is helping us. Each object help us. Someone suffering, you use this meditation, practice only, arise compassion. When arise compassion in your mind, heart, purify our karma. And purify our obstacles. And then that meditation benefit for others because it's interdependent connections, causes, everything is interdependent, dependent each other, rely on each other. So you see someone suffering, you use that object, you meditate strongly, and arise compassion in your heart. That compassion purify our karma. That compassion also purify that karma too. That's the only method you can truly benefit for others. We do know that. We only can maybe sometimes use like temporary method. Someone suffering due to hunger, you can give one food for that person. But when they eat that food after the person, due to the karma and the suffering. So we, through our good intention, giving food, of course, has good intention. Through good intention, is good to create good karma. It's a good thing, but still other suffering. That you have only temporary. If you use the Tongli meditation, you can have more permanently. So Bodhisattvas use that method. Bodhisattvas use Tongli method, and then use that object is create their bodhicitta and the compassion, and also the sending the enlightening, quality or enlightening this quality is sending to them. Then that create connection for Dharma, future life. Even cannot get a connection this life due to the example and the strong obstacle and the karma, but 100% that person have created seeds. So animals are suffering. Example, someone animal really suffering. You use Tongli meditation. The animal get benefit, future life, connect with the Dharma, reborn to the higher realms also. So that is the most powerful way you can use method to benefit for others. And exchange means Tongli. And we're giving something but taking suffering. Is ordinary people using this kind of meditation method, And the Bodhisattva using method is different. Ordinary with, giving means like always think about something, cloth, food. That's good, that our ability. A great way to do that way. Bodhisattvas like go more beyond that. They don't really thinking about the food and the clothes. Someone suffering the right way, connect with that. And sending the enlightening quality to them, taking their causes of suffering. So use that method and then become the person's object of personal, this beings is an object of meditation, then that purifies the karma. So that's why so that only meditation is very powerful and benefit ourselves and benefit for others. This mostly higher Tibetan spiritual realizers, when they get a higher level, they use this Tonglen meditation. Beginners very hard, but you always use good intention, like someone suffering, only we can send them breathe, use breath to exchanging. The Tibetan, this higher realizer practitioners use this Tonglen, not only someone suffering, so for the enemies and for the powerful people in the worldly, powerful people. Someone has high level like power, political power, and business power. Okay, and so like that, and it's just many different kind of power. Like we don't arise compassion to them, and who really torture us, who harm us. We never ever can do meditate for them. But this higher level practitioners use that object because our ordinary people easy arise compassion for who are suffering, but we are not easy arise to precedent. Why? Because we see precedent has power. Bodhisattvas easily arise compassion to precedent. Then maybe homeless. Because homeless person exhausting bad karma, the precedent create negative karma. So, and exhausting good karma, that kind of they see more beyond us, more further, far away. And Bodhisattvas seeing this, business power and precedent, like that kind of who has power, that not everyone, of course, we cannot say everyone, the some is can be good one, they create good karma too, but the majority could be is falling, it's the same as a God realm. Someone is at the top of the building, ready to jump, and someone is in the ground, so it's no food, and Bodhisattvas recognize who is the top in the building, comes more compassion to someone in the hunger in the ground, because that person is not going to die who's hungry in the ground, they stay alive. So who is in the top of the building, they're ready to jump, is going to falling. So they see like that kind of way is precedent, is ready to falling down. So lower realms. That's why Bodhisattvas is compassion arise, who create negativity, who exhausting good karma, arise compassion to them. Then also Bodhisattvas compassion arise, who torture for them. That's the Khenpo means share to Gachirobuchi in the present, like this prisoner guide, this officials torture this, in the prisoners. So they use this Tonglen meditation for them, because they meditate for them. They torture them, but they use Tonglen for them because they recognize they're going to lower realms. And they are same as the top of the building, someone ready to jump. ready to falling. Not any possible to any can go. Just have to jump like that, you know, falling to going to lower realms. So that's why this high level practitioners use, and someone who has you know, is high, like like our ordinary thing is they have great, but Bodhisattva don't say they are great. So more compassion to them. They're easy to go into lower realms. So that time I'm talking about in the person when the many teachers are Tibetan, this monks, lamas in the present, so they use this Tonglen meditation. People means that he shared the Tonglen meditation to them, include Garchen Rinpoche. Garchen Rinpoche, he really used that meditation. He changed, he transformed. So also same like that other masters too. That time they cannot really share this teaching like same as today I can share with you, but some distractions here, but there is nothing, you know, compared to them. That time they cannot really share. But maybe it's right now you can little bit up, could be upset because all Kempo is in the outside, they're going, people is going out, there's you know, running around and hearing the songs, you can be upset, you know, but in the comparing to in the person that time, they really cannot share teaching like this way. This congregation is the best. No upset, okay? You really some up to this, you know, voice and just maybe going on something like if you hear something and don't upset. That's all is taking the part. So anyway, that time they cannot really share the teaching. So they're sharing the Kempo means they share teaching to Garchen Rinpoche is that's in the restroom. Restroom is cannot comparing to our restroom. Okay, never ever think about, never ever go too close to that. Restroom is all the pops in there. Smell everything there. Many bugs, thousands of bugs there. You know, that kind of place. Even you cannot put your feet. This, you know, dirty is not going to touch to your feet. Like that kind of space. They secretly share this teaching. Then they really use. They recognize this teaching is a treasure. They really need. You know, the teaching. Only when we get difficulty, suffering, we recognize it's treasure. Until that, we don't recognize. If so many food in the supermarket, in the restaurants, until you hunger, you don't recognize that food is important. So like that. Until, you know, when we get difficulty, suffering, we don't recognize teaching is important. So that time they are really suffering in the prison. Due to that teaching is extremely powerful. Benefit. One word is powerful. You know, use that and practice, transform, life transformed. They have become Bodhisattva because use this teaching. We can hear this 37 practice like 100 times, good congregation, everything is perfectly, but not easy to go into our mind because we don't have suffering. So we are no hunger. That's why the food is all there, but not recognize how important the food is. So one day you really extremely hunger in the no one there is remote area. So people are very far away from us, no any food, extremely hunger. Then you recognize. So, you know, one bag of food is all important. So like that, and one day we get difficulty, suffering, then you really recognize this teaching is all important. So But we have to cultivate right now. Otherwise, we don't remember when we get difficulty suffering. We don't know how to apply. We always forget. So that's why right now we have to apply, cultivate. You have to read this 37 English every day once. You know, many meditators have memorized. So mostly teachers read every day, single day, this 37 practice. So sometimes we think, oh, I received already 37. I understand. I know 37 practice. Until enlightenment, you never ever said that. You never ever know whole 37 practice. I'm 100% sure. I have memorized when I was 13 years old, this 37 practice. I receive many teachings, but every day when I read, benefit. So it's very powerful. This is a treasure. Treasure is never expire treasure. This benefit for everyone, economically. So not only like get some people benefit, some people not like this. This is a treasure. Everyone can benefit. This benefit is never ever expired. Even 1,000 years after, never expired. 2,000, 5,000, 6,000 eons never expired this teaching benefit. So that's why it's called treasure. Always benefit. Very important. Today, due to some also my distractions, I cannot some area I didn't share correctly. Also, I apologize. So anyway, teaching is very important. When I share, I cannot share everything correctly because due to my knowledge. So also I have to apologize. So through my good heart and much ever I can share, I never give up. So continue following way. Don't forget. Okay. So we finished that today, and then keep going next week, next following week. We're going to do the dedication. Dorje Chang, Telopa, Naropa, Marpa, Malarepa, Dama Lord Gambopa, Pamotuba, and Lord Dugompa. Please bestow upon us most auspicious bless over all Kaju Lamas. By this virtue may I achieve omniscience. By defeating all enemies, confusion. May all who towers on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death, cross the ocean of Samsara. Bodhisattva, the excellent, precious mind, where is born, may it arise. Where is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. I pray that Lama may have a good health. I pray that Lama may have a long life. I pray that your Dharma activities separate far and wide. I pray that I may not be separate from you. As Majeshwari the Vero realized automatic state, and as did Samantha, but I will follow in the path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. By the blessing of the Buddha who attained the three kayas, by the blessing of the truth of the unchanging Dharma as such, by the blessing of the indivisible Sangha order, may the merit I shall bear fruit. By the virtues collected in the three times, by my seven all beings in Samsara and Nirvana, and by the inner room of virtue, may I and all sentient beings calculating and surpass perfectly comprehend the precious enlightenment. May the teaching of great Digompa Ranashiri, who is omniscient, Lord of Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue to increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of the Samsara. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kampola.
Thank
Thank you, Kempo.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Kampa. The teaching, Kampo.
Thank you, Kamala.
Thank you,
Kamala,
Thank you,
Kempo.
everyone.
Thank you.
somebody in the chat asked if they could do Tonlin now. Did you?
You can
Just-
Tongling, always you can do Tongling.
Okay.
Always. Even you're
Always.
going to let into the bed, I mean, like go lay down in the bed. So follow the breath, you can do Tongling. So visualize animals suffering, human beings suffering. So first you bring someone close one and do Tongli and move to others.
Tick.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you, Kempula.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Kempula.
Take care.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.